Hello everyone, it's Milfia and you are on Hytale UP for a new video. Today, we'll talk about the races we can most certainly play in the game. And another video about the factions in the story mode of Hytale will be up soon. In our video on Hytale's character progression, we talked about the multiplayer server that will probably have and will be the basis for the game's adventure mode. In the trailer, we can see very clearly the creation phase of our avatar. Hair, faces, accessories, clothes, colors, and so on. But in the blog post dedicated to customization, the Hytale team confirms that we will be able to embody other races than humans. In short, at Hytale UP, we imagine a MMORPG like World of Warcraft, where several species could advance in adventure mode on the same server. But then, what could be the playable races in Hytale? Let's discover them together in this video! At this point in the trailer, we can clearly see that among the dozens of players watching the big screen, there are humans, but also strange creatures. Many fans speculate that KWEEBECS and other TRORKS could then be playable species, but be careful not to confuse races, NPCs and mobs. At Hytale UP, we think that the playable species will be strictly different from the other characters we will meet in the game. For example, in the blog post dedicated to customizing the avatar, we see that black elves will be a playable race. We also find him at this point in the trailer, but he doesn't seem to be an NPC or an enemy to beat. Assuming that we are wrong and that the mobs we know are playable, then we will deal with each race one by one in this video. On the trailer and all the images of the game, the player is always represented by a human. He can then hunt, fish, mine, craft, or use magic. In short, everything suggests that humans will be the only characters playable in adventure mode. However, the trailer insists on the be yourself and, as we said, the Dark Elves seem to be confirmed as a playable race, so what to believe? Let's go back to the creation interface of your character. As you can see in this image, the feature is located in the My Avatar tab of the launcher. This clue is very important because it allows us to understand that this same avatar can be modified at any time and used in adventure mode, on multiplayer servers and in minigames. Since creation is maximized in Hytale and developers push us to modify everything we want, the same goes for our character's appearance. It will be possible to create patterns, unique pieces and accessories, probably on Craft Studio, and then import them to make your avatar. This could then make us doubt the existence of playable species, since we could then create them ourselves and simply modify the basic human to grow elf ears. No. As a reminder, the Hytale team stated that we could choose other species than humans. Then, let's take this image from the interface. On the menu on the left, we can distinguish the different categories of customization: face, hair, top, bottom, shoes. But what is the first icon for? Two theories. This can be the size of your avatar, height and width in particular, or it may be the selection of your avatar's race. The possibility of choosing a race being confirmed, we now have another question. What could it be used for? Is it a simple aesthetic option to shape your character according to your desires? Or each race have its own characteristics, skills, strengths and weaknesses? That's what we're going to theorize about. Now that all this has been said, let's start our list with the humans! Even if the trailer has been designed not to spoil on the races we can play, there is no doubt that we will find many human players on the servers. It goes without saying, the human faction will obviously be playable. But what will be its specialties? In our opinion, players who choose to play as humans will have a good chance of becoming skilled explorers and builders. With great intelligence, their pickaxes, axes, and other hammers could be improved. The mining time would then be reduced without the need for special enchantment, and the construction plans unlocked more easily? This is only a theory, of course, so feel free to share your opinions in the comments. Confirmed in the blog post about Avatar's customization, Dark Elves should, logically, have bow skills. The cost of enchanting their arrows could then be reduced, their firing speed greatly increased, and their bow much more powerful. But each playable race in the game should normally be able to choose between archer, warrior, and magician. So, the Dark Elves' assets must be more general, right? Perhaps they have night vision or increased speed? That's what we'll see. Now, let's start with the NPCs and mobs of the game that could perhaps become playable species. On our side, we don't believe in it too much, but let's talk about these adorable creatures of the forest, the KWEEBECS. As sun worshippers, they do not need to eat since the sun provides them with all the nutriments they need to function properly, kind of like plants. These people exude joy and mutual support, as can be seen in the various images. Parents growing their children and children helping their parents until they become trees again. Wood could very well be their specialty. The harvesting of wood would then be greatly accelerated and the trees would grow back faster. A kind of little firefox, the FERANS are former slaves of the SCARAKS, those terrible ants you can see here. Since the revelation of this screenshot, which seems to be a FERAN village, we think that these will be NPCs that we will have to help in adventure mode. But, as for the other NPCs, let's imagine that they are playable. They could then be specialized in ironwork thanks to all these chains they have broken, or simply master of aeromancy as suggested by the wind symbols. The SCARAKS, on the other hand, live as if in a real anthill. The transport of heavy loads could well be their specialty, allowing them to fill their inventory to infinity. This mob is not well known to Hytale fans because we don't have many images of him. One thing is certain, they have their own faction as suggested by the symbols in this image. In this shot, we can glance at the SLOTHIAN. With his almost human look, he seems to make a very believable playable race for Hytale. Living in the underground marshes of Zone 4, they could be good fishermen and swimmers. TRORKS are enemies to be defeated by the player, and, once again, we doubt that they can be played. However, in this picture we can see that the weapon is called TRORKS sword and that it is a weapon to be carried with 2 hands. Some will say that the TRORKS are a playable race, but we think that this image confirms the loot of weapons on the different mobs we kill. Those dear OUTLANDERS! If we now know where the OUTLANDERS live, what their potential leader looks like, and how they were corrupted by Varin, we still don't know if they will be a playable race or not. The OUTLANDERS look very much like humans, even if the trailer's one seems to be a giant. Their specialties could lie in the manufacture of heavy and very resistant armor, or they could be the only ones apart from Varin and his henchmen to be able to manipulate the magic of the void. Visible only on this concept art, the FAUNS seem to be hostile creatures of the Orbis Winter area. However, if they are playable, they may be able to control animals, such as the wolves in this picture, or even the nature. Another mob you only see on one concept art. This one looks very peaceful in his dressing grown in his armchair. And that's precisely what makes us say that the CYCLOPS could be a playable race. It is the only creature that we see owning a house with different rooms. every object in this image has been crafted and well arranged, an act that only players can logically perform. Unless this Cyclops is very intelligent. If Hytale's live scripting allows such things, or if it is just a simple prefab one. Anyway, if the Cyclops are playable, something tells me they'll be very good at alchemy. Enemies number 1 of players in adventure mode, it seems impossible to us that the henchmen of the Void are part of the playable species of Hytale. However, many fans, especially on Reddit, express their desire to embody evil. What if it's true after all? Have the developers prepared several versions of the story? One where we are on the side of good and another on the side of evil, as is the case in many other games? What's your guess? We wanted to finish this non-exhaustive list with the cactus! And yes! Look at this picture! Or this one! Aren't they too cute? They could throw thorns. This would give the player a real body. Goblins, spiders, underwater creatures, fenstalker and other dinosaurs. We couldn't talk about everything. We selected the species that we thought were the most likely to be embodied as a character. But the video is not finished. What if, apart from the human and the dark elf, none of the species mentioned above were playable? What if the Hytale developers hadn't revealed anything yet? So, here are some playable species that we could and would like to see in Hytale. As we told you at the beginning of this video, for us, only humans and elves are the known playable species of the game. As a reminder, the Hytale team specified that many others would be playable, so let's make way for theories. The customization of our avatar is a fact. We will have the possibility to craft or loot an almost infinite variety of clothes, armor, and other accessories. But with everything we've seen on the subject, with these images for example, it seems that the playable species are only humanoid. This would make it much easier for developers to make each character unique, but still maintain a similar morphology to best adapt the skins. That's why we think more of dwarves as a playable race. These would therefore be smaller than humans, and to stay true to what we know, they would be very good at handling the two-handed axe. If we want to remain in this spirit, where playable species would be only humanoid, we can still allow ourselves to think of the robots. What if the medieval and fantastic world of Hytale actually hides futuristic technologies, a little like on the screen? We could then embody an avatar with a robotic look that would be extremely gifted in technological confections and in the magic of electricity. Man or woman, we are talking about mer people, very comfortable in the depth. Indeed, Hytale promises landscapes underwater that are just as significant as what we will find on Earth. Why not imagine a people who could spend more time in the oceans than in the forests? Boat rakes to explore, huge falls full of mysteries, fenstalker to eliminate, and huge quantities of fish to meet. The sirens or people of the ocean could then benefit from infinite breathing underwater and unique hydromancy skills. Even if they already exist in the game as enemy mobs, we could very well embody them given their human appearance. The skeleton as a playable species would then be different from the monsters inhabiting OUTLANDERS, but would have special abilities such as invulnerability to some weapons. Perhaps only magic could overcome them? Finally, let's not forget that it will be possible to create your own server on Hytale with your own rules. The unofficial playable species will therefore be very numerous, and everyone will find something for everyone. And what about you? What species would you most like to play? Tell us everything in the comments. With that, we're done with this video! Don't forget to subscribe for more and join us on Discord, the link is in the description. Also, if you want more info about this subject, watch our video about the latest blog post. On that note, it was Milfia and I'll see you next time on Hytale UP.